Okay, looks like we're live. Ready to rock and roll. Oh, look, Mimi's going to come and join us too. I'll adjust so we can see Mimsy. There we are. Yes, hello. We're here. Ooh, I don't have the chat window open, Mimsy. We've got to see who's here. It's going to take a second. Yes, I'll just pay attention to you in the meantime. Will that be fine? Yes. And I fixed up her little perch, which, as everyone pointed out in previous live streams, was wobbly. So, you know, I've done that for you, Mimsy. Hope you're grateful. And hello, who's here? Luke, Brett, Bury, Miss Foxification, Mystery09. Just got to pop out my little chat window. Get everything arranged the way I like it. There we go, that's about right. And hello, Belinda. Oh, now Mimsy's turned her back on us. Fair enough. Not sure what we've done to earn that, but here we are. You get those feelings where you feel like you might be about to get sick. I've got this weird feeling in my chest. Might be because I had too many energy drinks today. I don't know. So if my voice fades, it's because I could be coming down with anything. Hey readers, how's it going? Purely Luke is faded. Obviously, I'm referring to Game of Thrones, but I was half leaning towards even the trailer for Star Wars Episode 9. But I think people have had enough time to watch that now, and it's free. You can just watch it. But I'd love to get into some dissecting of the Star Wars trailer. Brett, the Sandringham line. What happened on the Sandringham line? My line, I'm on like the not Sandringham. Why does my brain always blank out on that fucking bogan suburb? I'm on a different line, which is just out more or less completely for a couple of weeks. I've been on trams. We're suffering a bit in Melbourne at the moment for the big city loop. Frankston, thanks, Brett. My fucking brain. Frankston always eludes my brain. What is that? It's like part of my brain wants to pretend Frankston doesn't exist. I think that's the problem. Yes. Oh, God, Belinda, yeah. Clive Palmer says he's going to pay the money he owes to the Queensland nickel workers. Yeah, I'm with you. I will believe it when I see it. He is absolutely untrustworthy and shifty, that guy. Yeah, Miss Foxification, I think it's a fairly common thing to not want to think about Frankston. But I'm on the Frankston line. But yes. Oh, gosh. There's suicide. I tell you what, I have a problem with people who suicide by jumping in front of trains because it's super fucking traumatic for the train driver and the emergency services who have to clean up and any bystanders who see it. There's the thing, when you train to be a train driver, part of the training, and I'm not making this up, part of the training is you have to accept you will kill someone. It might be an accident, it might be a suicide, but someone will be killed by a train you are driving. It's basically a fact that you can't go for a career as a train driver without someone being killed by your train. Yeah, barriers at the train station are one thing, Belinda, but of course it can happen anywhere. Ms. Foxification, I'm a believer in medically assisted suicide. So I'm not harshly judging people who choose suicide in and of themselves. I'm just not a fan of people who drag other people into it and traumatize them is very selfish. So, how are my energy levels? Not great. My daughter just barely missed seeing someone killed in an accident with a tram. There was stupidity on this person's part. After the tram started pulling out from a stop, someone tried to run and get past it rather than just wait for it to go through. And I don't know if they totally misjudged its speed. Those trams have a lot of momentum, and they can't stop that suddenly. Yeah, and she thought she saw someone being treated for injury, but it turned out they had actually been killed. But anyway, Tendo, you joined just as we're talking about suicide. Yay! Milk my man tits. You're going to Blazing Swan on Thursday. I not only haven't been, I don't know what it is. I've never heard of it. I'm open to being educated on what it is. This is Florida. I am still here. As in still on planet Earth, still on YouTube. I've only been on this live stream 5 minutes, but you know, in the physical and metaphysical sense, still here. Yikes, Belinda, yes. Car accident. Okay, here's talking about weird car accident. Here's one that happened when I was at college in Bathurst. Some kid was in his parents' Volvo, and he went down the main street of this town, which had about a 50-kilometre-an-hour speed limit, and the estimates from the crash site were that he was going about 150 kilometres down the main drag, and it ends with a 90-degree corner, and apparently hadn't slowed down at all as he approached this 90-degree corner at 150 kilometres an hour. And it wasn't a suicide because there was like tire screech marks. He, at the last second, tried to turn the corner, like must not have known how close he was to the corner. Tried to turn the corner. Car went into a slide, hit a barrier. It didn't just roll, got airborne. Hit a barrier, got airborne, and the car actually hit a tree about 2 meters above the ground, and the car it didn't explode as in kaboomy, but it just tore apart. The impact at that speed sideways into the tree, the car just tore apart, and apparently it was absolutely horrific for the emergency services because there was 2 of them in the car, and they just got dismembered by the crash because the car got dismembered and they got dismembered. Fucking poor people in emergency services had to pick up pieces. But the reason I remember this is when we were reading the details of this crash, a friend of mine looked at the story and went, oh, and they say Volvos are safe. And like, he hit a tree sideways airborne at 150 kilometers an hour. There aren't any cars that are safe in that circumstance. Just of all the things to say, they say Volvos are safe. You're an idiot. You're an absolute idiot. Milky, okay, it's Australia's equivalent of Burning Man. Okay. And Luke, the name of the stream is a reference to Game of Thrones, and I'm actually serious. If anyone tries to ruin it for anyone, I will be ruthless. Ooh, big ding from my phone. Who's massaging me? Oh, it's my physio reminder, which is why I'm doing a live stream tonight, not tomorrow night, because tomorrow I'll be at the physio. I could have started late, I guess, but I just prefer to not stress about it. So I'm going to be at the physio tomorrow night because my shoulder is still fuckhead. But yeah, it's funny because I visited AZ in hospital today, and this is one of his serious hospital stays because he's been in for over a week, and they do not keep you in hospital for that long without it being serious. They're trying to find out what's wrong with his legs, and apparently he's just in terrible, terrible pain, and he's the centre of attention for a couple of different branches of medical world there at Royal Melbourne, and he describes it that they're going to start poking holes in his legs and probing and extruding and whatnot. The worst, it started off with varicose veins and got worse. And the point is, like, the veins might be necrotizing. Essentially, they might be poisoning his blood, poisoning his body. He is now staring at a worst case scenario, is losing his legs, one or both legs. But mind you, for the last 10 years or so, he's repeatedly been staring at a worst case scenario of being dead. He's had repeated sort of instances that, you know, indicators were something very, very fatal happening, and he's come through it. When he had the sort of necrotizing in his jaw, which killed all his teeth, which is why he had to have his teeth ripped out and get his false teeth. The worst case scenario there is the damage to his jaw was so extensive, he'd go into surgery and wake up with no lower jaw, which would mean never being able to talk again, which would be quite a severe thing for him. No, it'd be a severe thing for anyone, but AZ loves his talking. But that didn't happen. So he's stared down a whole bunch of worst case scenarios in the last 10 years. But realistically, this one has a worst case scenario of him losing his legs. But yes, he's already said he will come back as a Terminator. If he'll get prosthetic legs and clunk around quoting Arnie lines. He's probably, I don't think his joints are strong enough to get those blade prosthetics that athletes use. But I think he'd quite fancy himself with those blade prosthetics. But yeah, we'll see what's happened. Hey, Mr. Gonzo, you're up early enough to catch a stream. Good on you. So yes, and it's on a different night. It's a different night. Way up early. Is it insomnia or work? I'm always fascinated with the different time zones. What circumstance has someone tuning in at a time that is not particularly friendly to them? Oh, nice. Milky, your festival has a massive Millennium Falcon tent with bars and DJs and hippie crap. Wow, 10 days off the grid. No, fuck no, man. No. Oh, I hate camping. I hate dirty festivals. Which, yeah, very lame of me, I know. Ha, Bury, if AZ dies, you make a character dedicated to him. If AZ dies at his funeral, I'm going to kick the coffin just to make sure, because I don't know that he can be trusted. You have to go to the DRC for having 2 Percocets. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. You got to go to inpatient. God, people get so weird about drugs. Not just prescription drugs, but recreational drugs. I think the societal hysteria over drugs that is not equally applied to alcohol and tobacco is ridiculous. Like, fucking meth's not causing as much problems as alcohol is. It's really quite ridiculous. Puri, what character, race, class? I don't know. Something that regenerates, though. But also he's like a weird little mongrel, like a half-orc or something. But if you have a character class or race that regenerates, he's got at least some of their bloodline. Ooh, nice. Miss Hoxcation, you're converting a vehicle, a station wagon, so you can camp in it. Nice. I like that. Shazi, huzzah! Oh yeah, that is absolutely huge. That Leyenholm failed to get the New South Wales Senate, and he got ahead of himself and was going, yes, no, New South Wales Senate. No, you're not, you fucking piece of shit. He resigned the West Australian Senate and then failed to get the New South Wales Senate. He's fucking garbage. I hate that guy so much. Oh, Gonzo, you're right. There's mass hysteria around opiates there. And, well, there is the issue with the prescription opiates are now actually killing more people than car crashes, which is pretty wild. I like the sound of that, Bioria. He's a half-orc werewolf, trickster domain cleric. Oh, yes, he's definitely a user of dark magic. He's absolutely dark magic. Tendai, no, I'm more than willing to talk about the new Star Wars trailer. I'm pretty amped for that, actually. Miss Fox, the inability to get codeine in Australia these days. AZ begs your forgiveness. He's pretty sure that he is personally responsible for that, for the ridiculous amount of abuse in his consumption of Nurofen Plus in the past. Yes, no spoilers for Game of Thrones. And hi, Safa. But yeah, I am more than willing to talk about the new Star Wars trailer where they finally revealed the name. They did it all in one go, because I thought before they like released a poster with the name of the movie and then they released a trailer. But this was a trailer with a reveal of the name, The Rise of Skywalker, which is fucking hell. It's a great name as far as I'm concerned, because it will have fan theories going completely nuts in the lead up to the movie. What does it mean? Does it mean, the ghost of Luke Skywalker rises and actually, does fight the First Order? Is Rey a Skywalker? No, she's not. But hey, what does it mean? It gives the obsessive fans so much to fucking obsess about. I think it's an incredibly shrewd line. Shrazi, yeah, the manosphere and their obsessive hatred of anything that isn't straight white men. You're right, Shrazi. Kylo Ren, Ben Solo is of the Skywalker bloodline. His mother was Leia, of course. Ooh, musical aviator. Took yourself down to South Melbourne, booked over 2,400 for an i7 78. Oh, okay. Yep, that's a laptop. Nice. Sounds like a pretty grunty laptop. Yeah, but I love. I don't think they're going to make Rey a Skywalker. But yes, of course, Kylo Ren is of the Skywalker bloodline. Maybe they'll win them over. Nah, I mean, I freaking hope Rey kills him. He's a douche. There was a couple of wild things in the trailer, like that super cool, Matrixy force jump Rey does. He's that was one thing, that scene, okay, the dramatic thing with Rey in the desert and Kylo's fighter zooming down on her. But you notice they don't show Kylo flying it. You just get black gloved hands. And so I don't know if that's a fake out. Is that going to be a dream sequence? Surely they wouldn't be cheeky enough to not even have that in the movie, that it's just a big fake out tease for a trailer. But there were lots of stuff they showed in the Rogue One trailer that ended up not being in the movie. But I suspect some degree of faking out, because they didn't actually show Kylo flying it. They just very strongly suggested it's Kylo. And it's like, why not actually show him if it is him? So I think there's some degree of fake out there, but, remains to be seen. And I think, like most people, that final shot where you see them with Death Star wreckage and Luke's voiceover saying no one's ever really gone, and you think that's happy, good time feelings, and then the fucking Emperor's evil laughter in the darkness, it's like, get the hell out. That was a good twist. And I did also see, was it Safa saying, is JJ crapping on Johnson? My answer is no. I think we got barraged so fucking much by this MRA horseshit that even if you think it didn't affect you, it's a bit hard to get it out completely. But this ridiculous narrative that Rian Johnson is in any way a failure and that it anyway is looked down on by anyone in the studio. He's a fucking hero. Last Jedi made $1.5 billion. And look, personal taste is one thing, but all the really aggressive attacks on The Last Jedi are complete fucking horseshit. Absolute horseshit. None of them make any sense. Yes, I did see that, Belinda. The ABC had the Liberal candidate Gladys Liu bagging our gay brethren. It's just, but that's been a tactic of the Conservatives for a while. This pretty gross assumption that a lot of the more traditional people in the Chinese community are homophobic, and they've like in the marriage equality survey, they targeted a whole bunch of shit, really homophobic shit at the Chinese community. So it's not at all. Rambling Johnny, JJ's a Hitchcock fan. Yeah, Hitchcock certainly did some good stuff. That is true. Yes, this foxification, we all want the MGTOWs to actually go their own way, go the fuck away. Is it? Yeah, every now and then I thought, okay, I want to take a deep breath with these incredibly aggressive dickheads in the manosphere and go, okay, what's your end game? Like, if MGTOWs are being honest and they're literally saying, I don't want women in my life, well, good, you're going the right way about it. That's a pretty shitty and self-destructive thing to do to yourself, But if you're actually genuine in that stupid title you give yourself, that you don't want women in your life, you're getting the right way about it. And like, then you get the incels who just act psychotically angry and aggrieved. And it's like, dude, if you are literally involuntarily celibate and you want to fix it, the first thing you've got to do is be less of a piece of shit. You know, step 2 is probably be realistic about yourself and your place in the world. But I have real trouble with these various flavors of the manosphere who very much want a female partner, but spend so much of their time being viciously toxic to women. It's fucking ridiculous. It's self-defeating and ridiculous. I don't understand it at all. I sorry, I see people talking about Morrison being a bell end. That is correct, Belinda. He's pandering, and all politicians are guilty of it. But yes, he's pandering. He's in a shopping mall, and there is an Asian woman. So he said "ni hao," Chinese greeting, and the woman just goes, "I'm Korean." It's like, dude, don't pander. You fucking make yourself look like an idiot. Okay, Gonzo, I hope it goes out. Have your shower. I hope people don't give you too much shit and you get it sorted out. Oh, cool. Catch the replay, mate. Well, yeah, look after yourself in the meantime. So a former Pope claims the swinging 60s. All this blame shit, it's like, holy fuck. Why are people so disconnected from reality? I think is my question. It's like, don't blame this or blame that. Look at the reality of the situation, accept the reality, and go, okay, what's the best thing I can do given this reality? Instead of just fucking blaming people. Hey, James, how's it going? Sendai, funny Japanese comedian. Was that Shoto with the puppets? I've seen her live a couple of times. And she is very wacky. If you're thinking about someone else, I'll put Shoto as the Japanese comedian, and she uses puppets, and it's weird AF, like in a good way. Yeah, she's very weird. Yeah, Miss Foxification, you got to fix yourself. If you're having problems in the dating world, blaming someone else is almost definitely wrong. And in fact, your tendency to blame other people is probably indicative of what your problem is. And when you get these manosphere idiots who aggressively and viciously blame other people, women in general, because these guys are almost always heterosexual, but they blame other people for their lack of success, and they do it in a really vicious, brutal, spiteful, aggressive way. It's like, no, it's your fucking attitude that's the problem. I mean, like, I used to make the videos years ago with my friend Emma and her name Mistress M. We were doing like dating advice and helping people with their dating profiles and whatnot. And because both Emma and I had done online dating, and for guys in particular, they go, oh, how can I do better in online dating? Literally, rule number one that puts you ahead of at least 75% of your competition is don't be a dickhead. You don't have to do anything in particular that's special. Just don't be a dickhead. Don't say obnoxious shit. Don't do the dick pic thing. Don't be aggressive and abusive. It's such a weird and simple rule, and it absolutely, from what I've seen, what every woman in the dating scene has told me, you are ahead of at least 75% of your competition if you're just not a dickhead. Oh yes, misclassification. Rule 2, don't do anything pickup artists say. Because again, that pickup artist stuff is based in negativity. It's based in tricking people. It's based in lying. It's based in manipulation. Don't fucking do it. Hey, David, and hey, RC, Captain Get Up is an insult. I think there is very limited time for Captain Get Up to exist. First, because of how badly they've behaved so far. And second, it's trademark infringement. And I think under electoral law, you could make a compelling case for it being misleading. The people behind it are just fucking assholes, bloodthirster. Most young liberals are incels. I don't know. But yes, incels, they're angry people. And this is the thing. It's like, rule 1, if you think that if you want a romantic partner, no matter what gender you are, no matter what gender romantic partner you're looking for, no matter what your sexuality, no matter what sexuality partner you're looking for, if you're an asshole, it's not going to end well for you. And so many people, let's be real, so many guys, it's not like women are absolutely flawless either, but so many guys act like obnoxious fuckheads. By just not doing that, you're so far ahead of the game. Yeah, David, my whole thing, well, actually, I'm sure I've said this before. Mrs. Angry and I actually met via online dating. And in fact, my ex, the mother of my children, we met online before online dating was a thing, like 25 years ago. We were in an IRC chat, which is Internet Relay Chat. IRC chat room. It's like saying PIN number. I apologize for that. Mr. Andy, you say that, look, even that whole thing about women are attracted to bad men, that's not even true anyway. That's a lie men tell themselves. Like, again, because 99% of the time, guys who do the, I'm a nice guy, but chicks go for bad boys. They're not nice. They are, the 99% of the time, the guys who say that are not nice guys. They are manipulative, creepy guys who are not at all honest in their intentions most of the time. It's ridiculous. Yeah, no, the nice guy thing is bullshit. Be a decent human. It's just that the nice guy thing is almost always bullshit. It's almost always someone's going like, I do surface level stuff of courtesy and attentiveness, but it's just a smokescreen because my sole intention is getting some. Like, well, if you don't actually mean the positive or nice things you do, they're not nice. It's evil, manipulative, lying shit. So yes, rule 1, don't be a dickhead. It's amazing how well that works. Just the whole thing is, you know, don't be a dickhead. So many people are dickheads. It's absolutely ridiculous. Just be a decent human and treat other people like they are also human. Look, I've been screwed over in relationships or in dating as much as anyone. I've been treated badly. I've felt sorely used and abused in the past, but Jesus, you can't let it poison you because that's just a path to misery, basically. Luke, I was trying to get some in Yahoo chat rooms. I didn't even know Yahoo still had chat rooms. I've not been. What's the last chat rooms I regularly frequented? When MSN still had chat. But they killed the MSN chat when there's some media stories that basically exposed MSN chat was just all sex and porn. It was certainly my experience of it. But yeah, and yeah, I was single when MSN chat was still around. That'd be, yeah, I've lost track of what chat rooms exist because I haven't been in any chat rooms since the old MSN days. So yeah, in the 90s, I was in IRC, which was text-based chat. Yeah, we had a particular program to access the chat network. And yeah, Shazi, this is a kind of chat. This is absolutely a kind of chat. So yeah, I never did chat roulette or any of those things. It's a good point, Miss Falsification. Being happy is a positive. Happy people are attractive. And that, look, there's no way that's always easy to be happy. Absolutely. Oh, Luke, you were talking about the past with Yahoo Chat. Okay. Aussie Brickchick, you met your hubby on IRC. Yes, I met a former partner through IRC. Mrs. Angry was actually in a dating site, one of the big ones, RSVP. Shrazi, Muds and news groups. Yes, we called them it was a spin-off of Dungeons and Dragons, I guess. Used to call a certain type of chat room dungeons. Yeah, news groups. I spent a bit of time on news groups in the 90s. Chat, David, did you ever use Perch? No, I used MIRC, Merc, and one other IRC thing. I never used Perch, though, I don't think. That was the other thing. You could use different applications to get on this network, and they sometimes had different features. It was very weird. Yes, yeah, Rambling Johnny, that's a good point, particularly in Linux world. People still use IRC clients. That is absolutely real. Belinda, have I used Plenty of Fish? No, Plenty of Fish didn't really come out till after I was in a relationship. So I never used Plenty of Fish. In fact, it was the only dating website I used was RSVP. So yeah. What else was around in the time that's still around? The really Christian-y one. They really hype it on the ads. Trying to remember what it's called. Yeah. No, I don't remember. Oh, David, that's all the chats. Powwow, ICQ. Oh, I remember ICQ too. Yes, I used ICQ for a while. Shrazi, there were a lot of adult-oriented chat rooms in IRC days. That's it, Belinda. eHarmony, thank you. No, Christian Mingle is explicitly Christian. eHarmony is just very conservative and very heavily biased to white heterosexual Christians. You met your hubby on ICQ, not IRC. Yeah, ICQ was different. Tendai, if Disney owns Fox, does that mean the Xenomorph is a princess? Well, I know we always make the jokes about who's a Disney princess now, but of course, not even every Disney movie involves a princess. So, there's no princess in Lilo and Stitch. You know, trying to shoehorn and say, well, Lily's a princess. No, she's not. The princesses are explicitly princesses. So yeah, the yes, that was the pun, Miss Foxification. The letters ICQ, which is what the application was called, sounds like I seek you. So, oh, clever nerd pun right there. I used to, what Usenet groups did I used to go on? A lot of the social ones, Alt was very weird. And that's where the really wild, fun stuff happened. The alt news groups, Alt for Alternative. There was some wild stuff on the alt news groups. But yes. Shirazi, people regard Mulan as a princess, and technically she's not. Yes, that's an edge one. Luke, Blog TV was where I first live streamed. Yes. Yeah, Bobo, that's the sort of joke everyone makes. You say Leia's technically a Disney princess because she was a princess, and because Disney owned Lucasfilm, by definition, you'd say Leia's a Disney princess. Tendo, I think you're on yes, because Disney also owned Marvel. Shuri of Wakanda would be a good Disney princess. Although she got snapped. That was a weird one. When they released those promotional stills, the posters for Endgame, and it was Avenge the Fallen. And if you were if you didn't get killed in the snap, you were in color. And if you got killed in the snap, you're in black and white. And Shuri's in black and white, which makes her the only off-screen victim of the snap. Everyone else, they faded away to dust on screen. So that was a real shocker when they released those posters, that Shuri was in black and white, which meant she went in the snap. And she's the only one that was off screen when it happened. So that was a turn up for the books. Thanos hates all of us, Tendai. Thanos's problem is he's got a god complex just because he has all that power. Man, like as I say, that whole thing about, ooh, it's a random 50-50 is like, no, that's a god complex thing coming in. Ooh, the randomness. No. Have some balls, Thanos. Actually choose who dies. You're going to start killing people off. Because I reckon, give me enough time, and I'd have killed off more than half the Earth's population. The whole cosmos is a bit much to deal with. But, and because he's just like, ooh, there's a 50-50 chance if you kill a bad person or a good person. No, fuck it. I'd just kill all the assholes, which is why I think ultimately I'd kill more than 50% of the population. So I think more than 50% of the population are assholes. So yeah. Safa, did I like Shazam? Yes, I did. It was good fun. Yeah, it's not a legendary movie, and you could pick it apart if you wanted to. But I think Shazam was good fun. Oh yes, David, we were just talking about the Star Wars trailer a little while ago. Quite like it. It's apparently going to have explosions and lasers in it, which is good. And the Emperor. I mean, I'm really, really keen to see it, I have to admit. So we've got like 8 months of speculation. God damn. Bloodthirsty. Yes, I liked Captain Marvel too. I actually made a video after I saw Shazam. I did a review. So, okay, who's the best Captain Marvel? Because, of course, Shazam, the character Shazam's original comic book title was Captain Marvel, and the person who invented him got sued for doing a knockoff of Superman, and then DC ended up with the rights to it and eventually revived it in the 70s. But then Marvel Comics were around, they had their own Captain Marvel. So after some back and forthing, DC stopped calling him Captain Marvel and just call him Shazam. But if you pushed me, I probably preferred Captain Marvel to Shazam. They're both good in different ways. Neither of them are my favorites in the genre. But overall, yeah, no, I'm much more just into the style of Captain Marvel as opposed to Shazam. David, yes, June might be a good one. AngryAussie, it was a huge relief that DC finally did a funny movie. After seeing Captain Marvel, Mrs. Angry still says Wonder Woman's her favorite. I probably preferred Captain Marvel to Wonder Woman as well, actually. Although there was some very, very, very good stuff in Wonder Woman. But yes, God, thank God DC finally did an actual fun superhero movie. I keep forgetting that technically the Nolan Batman movies are DC movies, and they are, of course, fucking great. They're so much better than any other DC movie. But because that's not part of the modern DC expanded universe, I always forget about them when we're talking about them. But yeah, interestingly, apparently, when James Gunn, who did but didn't get fired by Disney from Guardians of the Galaxy, because apparently, even though they publicly sacked him, there was almost constant background negotiations to keep him on thing. But James Gunn's going to do another Suicide Squad movie, which, because the last Suicide Squad movie was so shit, apparently the scuttlebutt is that the next James Gunn Suicide Squad movie will be like a reboot. Will essentially be saying, okay, the last Suicide Squad movie was shit, so it's just starting again. And I don't think we're ever seeing Jared Leto as Joker again, because he was fucking terrible. Bloodthirster. I still haven't seen Aquaman. I will have to see Aquaman. It's just that the DC movies have been so average. I hadn't been in a rush to see them in cinemas, so I'm just kind of waiting till Aquaman's free on Foxtel or Netflix to watch it. It was in a few people have said Aquaman was pretty good, so yeah, I am interested in seeing it. But the DC movies have been so average. I'm just not rushing to see them in cinemas. Although I did see Shazam in cinemas because I thought, oh God, they might have finally done a fun movie, which they did. What was it, James? MRC is not around anymore. Not surprising. Oh, there's an app called Turbo IRC for iPhones. Okay. Yep. I think the IRC chat is mainly for hardcore nerds these days. I don't know. I like that as Johnny, Lord of the Rings on acid. Is that your view of Aquaman? I'm trying to work out what you're referring to, Lord of the Rings on acid. I like that as a review for any movie, by the way. But not that I'm recommending you see movies on acid, kids. Drugs aren't big or clever. Just because I've done it a couple times in my misspent youth. Yeah. Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. That I will definitely see that, and I will probably see it in the cinema. That may or may not be good. I could go either way on the Joker origin story. We shall see, because I've read Joker origin stories in the comics. We shall see what that movie's like. It may or may not be good. It's very interesting, though, they get such a serious actor as Joaquin Phoenix to play Joker. That's quite interesting. Bloodthirster, I was kind of glad I just saw Justice League on the TV. I did see Batman v Superman in the cinema, and I didn't hate it. Like, a lot of people really hate on the Superman films, and I don't hate them. They're not my favorites, but I don't hate them. I thought it was quite an interesting way to approach Superman, but it wasn't everyone's taste, obviously. But yeah, Shirazi, I agree with you. James Gunn knows how to write a script. And I think he's done quite well with the Guardians of the Galaxy films. So I'm quite keen to see his Suicide Squad. I reckon I'll see that in the cinema. I wasn't going to see Suicide Squad in the cinema because I was a bit iffy about it. And just really out of the blue, one day I was just in a shopping mall with my daughter, and of course there's a cinema chain in the shopping mall, and she just out of the blue went, "Hey, you want to go see Suicide Squad?" And I was like, "Okay, let's go see it." And again, I didn't hate Suicide Squad either. Wasn't great, and Jared Leto was fucking terrible as the Joker. Made worse when you hear all those terrible stories about what a fuckwit he was to the rest of the cast, because it was character. He was being method as the Joker, and his idea of being an actor was to be a fuckwit to his cast. Well, I loved, there were a couple of like Hollywood events where you saw photos like the cast of Suicide Squad together posting as like a group selfie, and it's the whole cast together apart from Jared Leto because none of them could fucking stand him. Jesus. Ooh, Bloodthirst. Does Guardians of the Galaxy provide crucial context for Infinity War? I don't know about crucial, but it's just about the daughters of Thanos, because the daughters of Thanos are both in it, and their relationship and the fact that they want to kill Thanos. I don't think you have to see Guardians of the Galaxy for Infinity War. It helps because it's, you know, the whole big thing. Oh my God, in Infinity War, Star-Lord and Thor is hilarious. There's a lot of good stuff in Infinity War, but the stuff with Star-Lord being made to feel insecure by Thor was fucking hilarious. God, I laughed at that. I thought it was great. Yeah, Tracy, I also agree. They should have redone Suicide Squad without the Joker. They should have cut the Joker out altogether, slightly, and that would only be a slight re-scripting, would save half an hour of runtime. Just have again Harley Quinn on her own without the Joker. Yeah, no, that was just awkward. Yes, Kenda, I will follow the handsome pirate man. Yes. Basically, oh my God. And Thor Ragnarok. If you never watched Thor Ragnarok, that is fucking brilliant. Taika Waititi just turning a Thor movie into a rollicking good time. That movie was so funny. I loved Thor Ragnarok. Again, it's not perfect. You can pick it to pieces if you really want to, but really funny shit with Thor and Hulk and the other and the new characters, and Cate Blanchett in fetish gear for the whole movie. You know, what's not to love? I think I want to, Bloodthirster, I think I want to rewatch Doctor Strange. I did enjoy, again, Doctor Strange is hardly perfect, but I did enjoy it. I think I want to watch it again. You know, with Benediction Cabbage Patch as Doctor Strange. He's going to be integral to Endgame, because although he was one of the ones who was snapped, he had the very obvious line just before he died, because he did that thing where he used magic to see millions of possible futures, and Stark asked him, how many of those did we win? And he said 1. And as he died and Iron Man's all upset, Doctor Strange actually sort of says, don't feel bad, this couldn't have happened any other way. He's obviously saying he's done something. Doctor Strange did something to make it possible to reverse Thanos' apparent victory. As obvious. Hey, Wrestling Days, Big Pat, how you doing? And I'm going to be really foreign. The one thing that super shits me about Infinity War with Thanos doing the snap is that, although everyone loved the emotional thing of Spider-Man fading away in Iron Man's arms going, Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good. But killing off Spider-Man and Black Panther when you've just started their franchise is intelligence insulting. It's like, they're not dead. You've just started their franchise. You're not going to kill them all. Dr. Obama, it's a strictly not Game of Thrones stream. You're not allowed to say stuff about Game of Thrones. I'm very sensitive about spoiling stuff. Mind you, okay, I have got to get my friend Delaney either on a live stream or some videos or do a podcast with her because like she's super smart and interesting and talented. But she really ripped me on one thing because I said something on Twitter and it was about a movie that had been out for, Christ, 2 years, well over a year anyway. And she went, oh, you know, spoiler alert. And I went, oh, fuck off. The movie's been out for, and it was a Marvel movie. And it's like, movie's out for a year. Anyone who fucking cares has seen it. And she's going, well, that's privilege talking. Not everyone can. Go, no. If anyone really wants to see that, they've seen it. And if someone's waited this long, they have any casual interest, it's their fucking fault. And so I thought, okay, cool, because I get on with Delaney really well, but she found something we could argue about. Am I an obnoxious, privileged jerk by freely talking about something that's been out for more than a year? So I know it was The Hobbit. It was the fucking Hobbit. And I went, okay, not only has the movie been out for, you know, a year, 2 years, the fucking book's been out for 50 years. So no. It's like, she's like, fuck it. I'll tell you the one spoiler I'll say about Game of Thrones, because Dr. Obama said the theme song is, they redid the animated opening titles. So that's fun, but those are different. It's the same type of stuff, but they've completely redone them. So that's something they spent 2 years redoing. Oh yeah, Tendai, there's no way they should have done 3 Hobbit movies. That's fucking insulting to the audience. But that was just a cash grab. That was just a blatant cash grab. That's a shameful fucking bit of behavior, making 3 Hobbit movies. You could just barely have got away with making 2, but 3 is an absolutely shameless cash grab. So there could be an old. Oh, I did see someone asking about the new Star Wars game trailer, which I did see, and it looks kind of cool. You're playing a young Force sensitive who's going to learn to be a Jedi, and it's after the prequel but before the original trilogy. So you're like by yourself. That could be good. And then EA's come out and said there won't be any loot boxes or microtransactions. It's like, dude, the only reason you have to say that is because you fucked up Battlefront so much. It's like you're acting like you're doing everyone a favor. You go, okay, so we completely fucked Battlefront, but we're not going to fuck this up. So you should bow down and thank us. Yes, Puri, generic white human Jedi. White human male Jedi, in fact. There was, I didn't play it much, but there was an online Star Wars game that the character creation was, I'm not sure if they had species other than human, but I do remember within the human configuration, like you had all the bloody shifters for there were an almost infinite number of variables you could do it. Dr. Obama, I'm almost, look, if the Emperor's not back in Rise of Skywalker, then they're bastards for faking us out. Because that was a really fucking good way to end the trailer. Luke's voice saying no one's ever really gone, and then the Emperor's evil laughter. If that's a fake out, I'll be really pissed off at them. So will Mimsy if she can distract herself from being scratched for 5 seconds. Bloodthirst, what do I think about Toy Story 4? I'm intrigued because I was very cautious, if not cynical, about Toy Story 3. But I honestly think it was the best of the series. It was a fucking phenomenal movie. Good night, James. Thanks for dropping by, buddy. Like, seriously, everyone talks about it being emotional when Andy finally gave up his toys to the little girl at the end of Toy Story 3. That didn't get me at all. What got me was that bit when the toys are on the conveyor belt to the junkyard, and there's all those things where they're trying to escape and it almost works, it doesn't quite, and the bastard bear traps them all, and then they dump out of the conveyor belt and they're going into the furnace and they're scrabbling out. At a certain point, I don't remember if it's Woody or Buzz, but they realize that they can't escape. They're just going down, and they just reach out and hold each other's hands. Forget crying when fucking Andy gives his toys away. That just got me. Just that thing where the toys look in each other's eyes and go, we're fucked. This is the end. And all they can do is hold hands and just be there for each. And I was like, oh, I'm tearing up just talking about it. I'm just like, oh my fucking God. That is like so heavy. That's the heaviest thing I've seen in a Pixar movie. That's full on. So apparently Plagueis and Palpatine fathered Anakin. No. Midichlorians shagged his mother. We're talking about Fallout. I had a conversation with AZ today. I've never played a single Fallout game. And yeah, most people hate Fallout 76, but I've never played a single Fallout game. I love open world games. I still haven't got what do you call it? Red Dead Redemption 2, but I reckon I will. I love open world games, and it's apparently the open world game. Like I loved Zelda Breath of the Wild, like Grand Theft Auto 5, Mafia 3, Yakuza 0. I've got, God, I should finish God of War, because I've got God of War. I started it, but then stopped. But I should finish that before buying another game. But I don't know why, because everyone loves God of War, and I didn't get into it that much. I'll have to do it again. But yeah, God, I kind of really want to play Red Dead Redemption. Speculation about Anakin's mother. Is Shmi really Anakin's mother? Could be midichlorians. She was a womb bot. I don't know if anyone else has seen the videos on YouTube called pitch meetings. I'm sure I've talked about them in other live streams. It wasn't that long ago that I found them, and I really enjoy them. They're part of a bigger film nerd channel, the Screen Rant channel. They do pitch meetings where a writer comes in to see a producer saying, I've got an idea for a movie. And it's basically, it's having a bit of fun with the sort of weird shit they put in movies that in retrospect doesn't make any sense. And just when we're talking about Shmi and Anakin, they often do new movies, but they also do quite old ones as well. And he did do pitch meetings for all the prequel Star Wars movies. And the one was, you talk about Shmi, I just remember the scene where Anakin avenges her death by wiping out the Tusken Raiders, and then Padme gets smoochy with him after he talks about fucking massacring this whole tribe of people, and as the writer's saying, she finally turns onto him when he confesses that he killed all the women and children, and the producers go like, really? That whole murderous stuff turns her on? He goes, well, apparently. So if you're calling it Kerry Russell is Mara Jade, we'll see. Because there is a bunch new characters in Star Wars Episode 9. So it'll be fun to see, you know, how they all work and what the whole storyline is. It'll probably be ages till we get much in the way of teasers about the story. So the teaser trailer was literally just a teaser. It's just all the visuals while telling us almost nothing about the movie, which is great. I love that, honestly. So, Dr. Obama, you're blocked by your local Liberal candidate on Facebook. Yeah, if I bothered to engage with them, I'd probably get blocked straight away too. I just prefer to ignore them. Oh God, speaking of elections, and we're at the halfway mark of this live stream, not of the election campaign. Joking last week about doing something themed around electric cars, but I needed a blue drink, and I didn't have a blue drink. And look what I have now. I have a blue drink, peppermint vodka I made. I'm thinking, I think I might make a peppermint cocktail, the electric car themed cocktail for the election campaign, and the ridiculousness of the Liberals picking on electric cars when their own policy promoted electric cars. It's ridiculous. They're fucking idiots. And I think I already know, I was looking up a few combinations of stuff. Yes, I think I know what I'm going to put in this. I need to get the bits and pieces I need. Right. So I need my glass and my cocktail shaker. I don't even know where my cocktail shaker is. Gotta get over here, I think. Alright. Oh, where the other one is. Me being a man about town, I have two cocktail shakers. All right, cocktail shaker. This. Oh, that's right. I need the creme de cacao and rum. Got a tiny bit of rum left. And I want sugar syrup and lemon juice. Where's the lemon juice? Bottle of lemon juice here. Okay, stay there, lemon juice. Got some lemon juice. All right. Right. Shake it with. Oh no, I'm just going to put some ice in my glass. One of my big ice cubes. From my big ice cube tray. Put put that in there. No, and coming back to us, Mimsy. I thought you'd abandoned us. You want some ice? You can have ice. Right. So, no, the exact name for this, something about electric cars. Right, where's my measuring jigger? There. So, it's going to have the blue. All the other stuff I'm putting in it is clear, so it will stay blue colored. So we go blue. Stop headbutting me, Mimsy, honestly. Probably should add some egg white for the froth of politics, but right, creme de cacao. Peppermint and chocolate flavour make it a bit desserty. That was so weird. What? That was not the cocktail glass. In fact, I might even use that ice in here now I've done that. Put that ice in for shaking. Rum. Make it a real party drink with some rum. Yeah, that's the last of my rum. Last of my white rum anyway. Still got some spiced rum. Which I got a bottle cutter from the internet, and it's shit and it doesn't work. Because I've got all these different shaped bottles that would be neat as glassware. I'm just gonna throw them out. It doesn't work. Okay, sweetener. Where did I put my sweetener? I'm sure. No, I didn't. I left it here. Okay. A little bit of this. Are you worried about? No, Shazi, I don't have any blue curacao. Curacao? Some people say curacao, some say curacao. I don't know. My own blue. Yes. And I'm going to put a little bit of lemon juice in as well. That always goes well in a cocktail. Put lemon juice. So there we go. Put that in. Right. You're just really starved for attention, aren't you, Mimsy? Ugh. Then over there. Cocktail shaker. It's not very good. Probably enough mixing. Yeah. And just pour that into my. It's not very blue. It's a vague sort of aquamarine colour. Same as for soak a thick thread in metho, wrap it around the bottle. When it's almost burnt out, drop the bottle in cold water, should cut through the bottle. Ah, I see what you're saying there. Yes. Look, got it. Okay, it is a little bit blue on my side. Now I want to put, I've got some blue food colouring up there, and I want to put some blue in it. I want it to be bluer. Should I do that? Get some blue food colouring. Oh, yeah. It's in the cooking stuff up here. I'm sure there's some blue food colouring. Where is it? This one. Oh, wait, there it is. That's the blue food coloring. Young Mr. Angry likes to bake, so we have lots of baking stuff, including food coloring. A couple of drops. Okay, let's do this. Yep, that's way too much. I knew that'd happen. Because we wouldn't do it a drip at a time. It's going to look black now. Oh my God. Yeah, now it just looks black. This is ridiculous. At least blue. My finger's blue. There. It still looks kind of blue there. There you go. Now our tongue's going to go blue. I'm an idiot. I'm honestly an idiot. Okay. I knew that would happen. Oh well. These things happen. Project Redfoot and Solo dies. Everyone dies. Marcy, you're late. Well, you got the 45 minutes to go. Blue. Yeah, that's good. Marcy, sauce sprites. Yeah, I got this was from a lucky dip from the T Fury website, I think. Add more clear on. I can't add more clear on. I ran out of clear on. That's empty now. But that's okay. I'm just going to have a blue tongue. Really freak Mrs. Angry out. Blue lips too, if I'm not careful. Good. You're right, Miss Foxification. I don't know why LPG isn't bigger in Australia. There are lots of reasons to recommend it. But this is where we are. Yes. Dr. Obama, offensive comments from Peter Dutton. Was that ragging on his competitor, saying, "Ooh, why doesn't she live in the electorate?" It's because she's disabled and she's like an amputee, and a whole house is geared up for accommodating her disability, and it would be too expensive for her to move. And Dutton's a piece of shit. I did actually post a video last night talking about that. That Dutton's a piece of shit. Teething on me, but Dutton doesn't just have a Gold Coast summer house. Dutton owns about 6 properties. How, you may ask? Did a humble copper get so rich? Who knows? Just because he worked on the drug squad, notoriously the most corrupt part of any police force, in Queensland, notoriously the most corrupt police force in all of Australia, he, definitely wasn't corrupt. That's definitely not the explanation as to why a copper who retired suddenly before his pension kicked in has so much money. Definitely not corrupt. Absolutely. That's a scurrilous thing if anyone were to suggest it. Oh God, Miss Foxification. Dutton's not only not intelligent enough to run the country, he's not human enough. He's absolutely good. Him going down in the federal election and losing his seat is one that I'll really celebrate. Top of my list are him and Tony Abbott. Dutton is almost definitely losing his seat. Abbott stands a good chance of losing his seat. Not as big a chance as Dutton, but a good chance. Those are the 2 big ones that I'll really celebrate over. But there are so many assholes in the Liberal Party. There's so many to celebrate if they lose their seat. Yes, so that's the big question. Why did Dutton retire? Why did he suddenly retire from the police force not long before his pension kicked in? I mean, obviously not to suggest because he was coming under scrutiny for any illegal activity. That's definitely not the case. That's absolutely not the case. Is sarcasm a defense in a court? I don't know. Oh yeah, Shirazi, that was super weird. Tony Abbott discovering a street library in his electorate and go, look at this amazing breakthrough, a thing that's been around for 10 years. I don't know. He's an idiot. Oh yeah, Bloodthirster. Fraser Anning's 99% likely to not get re-elected in the Senate. He only got in off the back of One Nation. So he's, God, look at the blue on my fingers, honestly. He's very unlikely, which would be good to see the back of him. Oh my God. Leyenholm failing to get in New South Wales was an unexpected boost. Oh, Miss Fox, you're not wrong that the turds being flush get a political pension. When you look at how many ministers resigned because they saw it as a disaster, they get a much better pension retiring while they're a government minister than if they'd stayed on in opposition. So it's really, really quite a cynical move. But hey, you know, that's the way it goes. Belinda, I hope Hanson loses a seat. We all hope that, but she's only going in the. I haven't been keeping that because Hanson's only going in the Senate again, isn't she? One Nation are unfortunately likely to do quite well. I did see the survey that suggested One Nation's vote had tanked. I'm not going to believe that until I see that. I thoroughly expect Hanson to be re-elected and One Nation to unfortunately do reasonably well in the election. So, yeah, and of course the other one, the ones who did quite well in New South Wales, the Shooters, Fishers and Farmers Party. Who knows, they'll probably do well in the federal election too. I don't know. And of course, it remains to be seen what will happen with the Greens. Are they fading, or will they have a bit of a comeback? Yeah, Belinda, it's an overwhelmingly safe bet that Labor will win the election and Shorten will be Prime Minister. Like, it's not a sure thing. Nothing's a sure thing. But it is quite a safe. In fact, I think I feel like looking up Wiki's odds Australian federal election. I'm going to look up what the latest betting odds, because the bookies are not emotional. It's all about numbers to them. I'm going to see if I can find some numbers. What's it saying? No, that's not useful. That's not what I'm looking for. What else going? Australian politics betting odds. Let's have a look. Let's have a look, because I did see a list and it was very interesting. The prices on various margins. These sites aren't loading on my laptop, was it? Labor almost even money. Coalition almost 5-1 against. Now this isn't even not the thing. So no, that one's not responding. Whatever. I'm going to see. Okay. I saw a really interesting collection that had odds for different levels of win for the Labor Party, and it was very interesting how they rated different margins, because a narrow win was one of the less likely outcomes. The more likely outcomes were really quite convincing wins, like 20+ seats wins. But I can't find it again. Oh well, I think I'm going to give up on this if this doesn't load up. Yeah, okay. In the broadest possible sense, Labor seems to be almost even money to. Okay, it just randomly this one popped up, a US presidential thing for 2020. Terrifying how much more likely there ranking Donald Trump to win than any Democratic challenger. That's quite nightmarish. Ugh, I didn't want to see that just before bedtime. I'll tell you that much for free. So I haven't specifically seen Vic Labour ads attacking Libs about public schools, but they fucking should. The Libs funding of private schools over government schools is fucking horseshit. I was looking where that came from. Dr. Obama saying Bering should run for seat for One Nation. Like fucking sad fuck of ass hats running for UKIP in the UK. Marcy, yes, the title was referring to Game of Thrones spoilers. I don't want anyone spoiled because not everyone watches it straight away. Oh yeah, no, Palmer's got almost no chance of getting in. That's a good question, Safa. How messed up is the Electoral College in the US? Very is the answer. But I'm also a believer in, because all votes are not equal in Australia, because you have to do some sort of balancing thing. Because if you basically made every vote worth the same, city populations would always 100% of the time dictate the outcome of elections. So people in country areas would have no power at all. And that delicate balancing act of recognizing people in sparsely populated areas probably need their votes to have a different weighting to people in urban areas, but not doing it too much. That's a big challenge, getting that balance right. So yes, in practice, the US Electoral College is utterly fucked. But some sort of balancing, like an electorate in an urban area will have many more voters in it than an electorate in a country area. But then again, an electorate in a country area will cover a much bigger physical area, like much bigger physical area than an electorate in an urban area. And there does need to be some sort of balancing of the relative values of votes. But yeah, I think the US Electoral College system is utterly fucked. But yeah, again, a straight popular vote where every vote has the exact same weight is unfair. It will always marginalize people in rural and remote areas, which is not really fair. But it's just finding that balance is the difficult thing, quite honestly. I think Australia has a reasonably good balance in that. Nothing's perfect, and it's always being reassessed. Boundaries of electorates are getting changed to reflect changing demographics. So, yes, I think Australia's system is pretty good. Nothing's perfect. You have to always be looking at it. But yeah, no, I think America's system is utterly fucked, quite honestly. And also, I'm just going to throw in case you didn't know, Americans do things like vote for police chiefs and vote for judges and vote for sheriffs and vote for their district attorneys, which I think is fucking shit, because roles that should be public service become pandering to the basest instincts of the electorate. And yeah, that way lies madness. Yes, we do have one more electorate this election, which is also good because we're back to having an odd number of seats. Because in the previous one, if you got, you could end up, a major party could have exactly half the votes, which still wouldn't really give them power over the House. But yeah, this way, you get half plus one, then you've got power. But I'm looking forward. What's this, like 4 weeks from this Saturday? Is it? I think it's 4 weeks from this Saturday will be election night. Let's look at the calendar. So this Saturday will be the 20th. 1, 2, 3. Yep, 4 weeks from this Saturday will be a truly epic live stream. I'll be going hard. Ooh, I love controversial points of view, Miss Foxification. You want the voting age lifted to 25. There's more people saying that the voting age should be lowered to 16. You're thinking with the voting age lifted to 25. I love a bold and controversial take. Go. I actually don't agree, but I'm 1,000,000% behind you pushing a bold view. Hey, I reckon you can make a point to have a cutoff voting age, like, say 75. Reach 75, the chances of you being dead soon are really high, so you don't have a stake in the future. So fuck you, you don't get to vote. That is also not what I'm pushing, but I think you can make a case for it. It's kind of like, this is me and loving bold calls in it was like in February or March. Mrs. Angry just said out of the blue, I think that's it for the hot weather. We won't hit 40 degrees again this summer. And I'm like, bold call, bold call. I love it. I love a bold call because there's a good chance you're right, but there's also enough unknowns here. And in fact, she was beaten, I think it was the last week of, was it March? It was basically the very last time you would have expected hot weather, and it happened. And yeah, it's like at the last possible moment, we did have days that were over 40. But I didn't deride Mrs. Angry for making a bold call and being wrong. I was 100% in support of just make a bold call. Bold calls are an excellent thing. If you're not an arsehole about it, yeah, Miss Foxification. As much as I disagree about lifting the voting age to 25, I'm 100% behind you making a bold call. I think that's great. Isn't there a National Weed Smoking Day? Not in Australia. America had that thing for the first time. It was legalized somewhere on the 20th of April. So they go 420, bleeze it. Luke, having 32 in Adelaide, yes, very unseasonably warm weather, but we always have some warm weather in April. I tell you what freaked my head, and this happened last year, we had some quite warm days in May. Like we'd always had some cold and some warm days in April. That was normal. But last year, we had some warm days right into May, which is really, Jesus. Okay, don't tell me the climate isn't changing, because that's really wild. Oh, Shazzy, you're going to be freezing at 22 in Brisbane. Dr. Obama, what state faction of the Liberal Party do I hate the most? Well, maybe it's just because it's my local thing, but the fucking Victorian Liberals shat me so much, and I was so glad they got fucking smashed at the state election, because they were just aggressively promoting racist lies. Like it's one thing to disagree on policy, and I'll never be shy about how strongly I disagree on a policy level with conservatives. But the state libs and the federal libs for Victoria really aggressively pushed the blatantly racist and blatantly false stories about who out of control African crime gangs. It's like, it undermines any genuine discussion about, you know, law, crime, safety, that sort of thing, when they're repeatedly telling outright lies that they know are lies, and they're racist. They are deliberately structured racist lies because they've gone through, oh, we can whip people up with racist fear. Absolutely disgusted with the Victorian state Liberals and Peter Dutton in particular on the federal level, just repeating the absolute lie. Melbourne people are scared to go out at night. Oh. And yes, there were definitely individual incidents that were really quite disturbing, but it's a simple fact that that line about Melbourne people are scared to go out at night was a blatant lie. And all the stuff about, oh, out of control, everything was a racist lie. You know, you can't even have a sensible topic. You can't even have a sensible discussion on the topic when these people are just promoting these ridiculous, over-the-top, racist lies. And they know they're lying, and they've deliberately decided to push the racism angle. It's absolutely fucking disgusting. Oh yeah, Bloodthirster, the absolute disappearance of Matthew Guy was hilarious. I remember the way the Liberals tore themselves apart after that terrible failure in the Victorian state election. You got all these people, and they were even talking to the media going, oh yeah, we should never have had, like, when Matthew Guy decided he wanted to push law and order, but everyone knew he'd had a fundraising dinner with a reputed mafia boss. It's like, you can't keep a straight face and say, I'm for law and order and anti-crime, when everyone knows you had a fundraising dinner with a person identified by law enforcement agencies as the head of mafia crime in Australia. And it's just like, and at these Liberals saying this after the election, and I was like, dude, you maybe should have said that before the election, that Matthew Guy's untenable as leader. You can't take him seriously pushing a law and order campaign when he had a lobster dinner with a mobster. Lobster with a mobster. You still find out, if you want to know about it, just do a Google search on lobster with a mobster. It's ridiculous. And even after they lost 3 federal by-elections after knocking off Turnbull, and they got crushed in the Victorian state election. And exit polls, they were explicitly being told by people who'd previously voted Liberal, they could no longer vote Liberal when the Liberal Party was pushing homophobia, racism, and climate science denial. That they just needed to stop that. And yet you still had these fuckwits in the media and on the extreme right of the Liberal Party going, no, the real problem is we weren't far right enough. They've been crushed in these elections, and they've been told repeatedly in exit polls, this push to the extreme right is completely unacceptable. It's like pandering to 25–30% of the electorate, and you cannot win an election by pandering to 25 to 30% of the electorate. And you still had these fuckwits like the dickheads on Sky News and in the Murdoch print media go, well, the real problem is they didn't go far enough to the right. It's like, no, keep saying it. Keep saying it. Keep believing it, because I want you to get fucking crushed in the federal league. I don't think it's going to be an absolute landslide at the federal election, but I hold out some hope. I think there's a small but not insignificant chance that the Liberals are going to be straight out fucking slaughtered at the federal. In fact, them getting slaughtered, like losing 40 seats, is more likely than them winning. The most likely outcome is just a quite convincing win for Labor. But there's a small but real chance they'll get slaughtered. No, Murdoch can't vote. He's an American citizen, but he uses his media empire to, hey, Dirk, you've come in the last 20 minutes. We're still around for a while. Rottweiler dude, if I listen to hardcore, short answer would be yes. Slightly longer answer is depends what you call hardcore. There's a lot of stuff that gets described as hardcore that I don't like. But there's some stuff in my collection from the 80s and 90s, like the various fetus incarnations. Good old James Thirlwell, aka Jim Fetus, released stuff, really full-on hardcore stuff with fetus somewhere in the title. There was like a different name for every record, like Scraping Fetus Off the Wheel or Fetus Uber Frisco. What were some of the other fetus releases? Scraping Fetus Off the Wheel was just the most gross, evocative one. What was the other one? You've Got Fetus on Your Breath was a great one. And he released this album with a dude called Rolly Mosserman under the name Wise Blood, which is probably the darkest, most evil album I own. The songs are all about serial killers and satanic cults and rituals and murders. It's pretty full on. Ah, Dirk, you're still doing the mineral cutting stuff. Nice. Nice. You're doing topaz today. Nice. I miss Foxification. I reckon you're right. Not only are the Liberals going to lose the election, they'll lose badly and they'll tear themselves apart for a while. I reckon it will be I think I said this last live stream, but I think it will be a minor miracle for the Liberals if they are in opposition for less than 3 terms. Like for them, okay, so the possibilities are Labor's only a one-term government. They would have to fuck up royally to only be a one-term government, and I don't think they will. I'm not going to be completely happy with them, but I don't think they'll fuck up that badly to lose government after 1 term. Then there's 2 terms, which not that many Labor governments have run more than 2 terms. I still think it would require first the Labor Party to fuck up and second the LNP to get their shit together. And I just don't reckon the LNP are going to get their shit together that well. I think it will take a minor miracle for them to be in opposition for less than 3 terms. You raise a reasonable point, Dr. Obama. The Libs could end up splitting, like an extreme right fringe could break off from the mainstream. Who knows? Who knows? Catherine, yeah, I honestly think for Labor to be in less than 3 terms requires 2 things. Labor to really fuck up, which is quite possible, but I don't really think they're going to do it. But it also requires the Conservatives to get their shit together. And based on available evidence, I don't think they're going to get their shit together anytime soon. Now, it's the result of this election is going to count for a lot. If they get like massacred at this election, it's going to take them a while to come back. But if it's not that big a loss, then they'll be in a stronger position. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? But while I was applauding, you know, bold calls, hot takes before, my hot take is, and there's a solid chance I'm going to be completely wrong, but my hot take is it will take a minor miracle for the Libs to be in opposition for less than 3 terms. I would take, if they lose this election, it would take a major miracle for them to only be in opposition for 1 term. I guess there's more of a chance they'll make ground up in a 2nd term, but I truly think they need a lot to go their way for them to be up for 3 terms. Little Johnny Howard, Catherine, in the 90s. And prior to that, the Hawke Keating Labor government was 3 terms or more. It's only recently, like after Johnny Howard, Labor were only in for 2 terms, and this is the 2nd term for this Liberal government, which they're almost certainly being turfed after 2 terms. I don't vote Greens despite my views probably being closer to the Greens than Labor, simply because the Greens are never going to be in power, and it kind of shits me that they can say whatever they want and it doesn't matter because they'll never be forced to act on those policies. I think it's good to have the Greens as sort of a pressure group on Labor. But there's also a lot of shit within the Greens organisation, so I can't bring myself to be an advocate for the Greens. That's a big question, Safa. If the Libs lose, who's going to be opposition leader? Depends who loses their seats. And that could be a bunch of them. Because, what's the dipshit who's the deputy Liberal at the moment? I mean, obviously they're going to drop Morrison like a hot potato, particularly if they get crushed. I don't think he'll stay as opposition leader. Frydenberg, if he doesn't lose his seat, but there's a solid chance Frydenberg will lose his seat. He's one of the ones I'm going to really laugh at if he loses his seat, because he's a dipshit. If Frydenberg doesn't lose his seat, I think he's odds on to be opposition leader, but there's a really solid chance he'll lose his seat. Who knows? Honestly, the next Liberal opposition leader is probably going to be someone we haven't heard of, someone who doesn't have much of a profile. But who knows? If Abbott gets back as leader, again, that's something I don't see happening, because I'm really holding out massive hope that Abbott loses his seat. I really want to celebrate Abbott losing his seat. Oh, I didn't have fucking live chat on, so I missed that dipshit. Luke, I just saw you say, Neil, wow, what was that? I missed that dipshit because I didn't have live chat on. So apologies if I've missed. God, I don't normally make that mistake. Cormann's in the Senate, though. I think with the general rules, the party leader has to be in the lower house. The party leader can't be in the Senate, I think is the rule. I think the deputy leader can be in the Senate. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, because Cormann's in the Senate, I don't think he can be the party leader. But God, Abbott getting back in as leader would be fucking ridiculous. That would be absolutely ridiculous. Something I would laugh at a lot, but absolutely ridiculous. It is funny, for those who don't know Matthias Cormann, He's a German or Austrian migrant who's the Liberal Party leader in the Senate. And he sounds like, it's a stereotype and a cliche, but he sounds like Arnie as the Terminator, which is fucking hilarious, quite honestly. It's quite bizarre, but quite funny that we've got someone in the Senate who sounds like Schwarzenegger circa Terminator days. Oh yeah, Shazzy, look, giving Abbott power in the Liberal Party is ridiculous because the public hate him so much. But then again, moving against Turnbull was fucking ridiculous because it was obvious the public hated that shit. And they did it anyway, and they've suffered for it ever since. Dr. Obama, I reckon you're spot on. I did see you say that earlier. The Libs go into opposition and they lose all their known names. Yeah, it'll be a female backbencher who we're not very familiar with, and they go, oh, look, see, we've learned. Now we're progressive. Vote for us. And I doubt it will work. But anyway, we shall see. I mean, like I said, we've got 4 weeks. God, it's not that long, but it feels too long. Feels so. God forbid we were in America where they have like a 2-3 year election cycle. Oh, sorry. Oh, I'm slightly surprised I made it this long. My energy levels were so low, I wasn't sure I'd last past the first hour. I had to think, I was going to see AZ in the hospital. I'm going to the city and I thought, oh, I need to get an energy drink. And I stopped at like a service station and they had a twofer with these energy drinks, like buy one, get one free. So I thought, oh, fuck it, I'll get two. And they didn't have bags, so I'm carrying two, thinking I'll drink one and save one for later for another day. And then when I was getting off a tram, I dropped the can I was carrying and I hit the ground hard and it actually cracked the can and the drink was leaking out. I'm going, okay, so now I have to throw this away or drink it. And oh, fuck it, I don't want to wait, I'll drink it. So I had 2 500ml energy drinks within an hour. That's twice as much as you're meant to have in 24 hours. And I was okay for a few hours until I got home, and then I started to crash, which was just about 6 hours after I drank the energy drinks. And so I've been feeling, so like I didn't really have dinner because everything was a bit sort of, I did have a bite to eat, but not much. And now I've got to sleep. Fuck knows what my sleep is going to be like tonight. A bit disjointed, I think, quite honestly. I was going to go into the city and do some more things tomorrow, but I don't know how fucked up I'm going to be tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see how sleep goes tonight. That'll be there. I've got a video to edit. Seeing I did this live stream tonight, so I won't be doing a live stream tomorrow. I've got a video I might edit and put up tomorrow. Met up with some YouTubers on the weekend, and those were good memories. Will remember me talking about having made Vegemite vodka and how bad it tastes. I took it along to this meetup and got a few people to do a taste test of it, and I did like slow-mo video on my phone because I thought I'd get good reactions of people going, "Ooh." And of the 3 people I got to do, 2 of the reactions were relatively mild. They were just like, oh, that's not good. But one of them is this really over-the-top, and she's hilarious, and it's all in this glorious slow motion. Personally, I think it's really, really funny. I will probably upload that tomorrow. So that's something to look out for. Vegemite vodka taste test, reactions in slow motion. Pretty funny, if I say so myself. That'll probably go live tomorrow. But yeah, I was going, because I got some mail. I got a notification I got mail, so I don't know. Oh, God, that'll be on again. Sorry. I don't know if it's just more of my like junk mail from religious organizations, or if I got some more hate mail, or if maybe just normal mouth or something. Speaking of ham, I remember I read half a page of this one last time. Why don't I read a little bit more? Oh man, this paragraph starts really well. This is the deranged, very wordy letter. This paragraph, might just read this paragraph. It's a long run-on paragraph. I hate that you are still allowed to be on the internet. If it were up to me, I would force YouTube, Vimeo, WordPress, and all the other sites you're on to deplatform you and your family so that you cannot be heard. You and your ideology calls for the deplatforming of all the people you do not perfectly agree with. Fundamentally untrue, but anyway. That is wrong and should never happen, ever. Unless a person is actively calling for violence, other crimes like theft, assault, or terrorism, then a person should never be deplatformed. All the people I want deplatformed are fucking Nazis who are advocating for the violent murder of people. So fuck them. You hate groups like Anonymous. No, I don't. Because they're not hacking websites you hate and disagree with. They are not hacking into the social media accounts of people you hate, and you hate that they are not gotten you to convert. That was a good sentence, wasn't it? I'm not saying this person is really stupid and deranged, but they can't even make coherent sentences. You call them the Ralph... Oh, no, Mormons. Sorry. Oh, I know who this is. He's upset that me picking on Mormons. You're an idiot. You're a fuckhead and a moron. I wonder why the Mormon church hasn't gotten you to convert yet. You call them the Ralph Wiggum of Christianity. What surprises me is you can see that in the Mormon church, but not yourself. This is just magic. How can you see it in them, but not yourself? How is that? Does your brain only have enough bandwidth? You process the information to come to that conclusion, but not to the conclusion that you're a piece of such fucking pig shit. Fuck, this is good. I shouldn't call you pig shit. Pig shit at least has the benefit of removing bad things from the pig's body. That's actually a funny line. You do not have that advantage. You spread your filth to the world. I do that. You refuse to see the facts. You should have known what kind of fuckhead you were when you received that letter from VD. It should have been obvious that you're a worthless piece of poisonous bag of... That is a good sentence. You should have been obvious you are a worthless piece of poisonous bag of waste. When he referred to himself as an angry Aussie apologist. What kind of fuckhead attracts that kind of delusional nutcase? You, that's who. So you need to have a good think about why he was an angry Aussie fan and why he would call himself an apologist for you. I can assure you that you have a good, hard, honest think and reflect about yourself, then you'll see why you'd attracted him, and it will scare you to see what kind of fuckhead you are to have attracted him. Think about why. Oh my God, that's so good. That is just so fucking funny. Oh my God, that's just deranged. It's a funny old world. It's a funny old world. Look how blue my tongue is. I'm a blue-tongued lizard. I like blue. Just as a by the by, I like blue-tongued lizards. And thinking about Australian wildlife, who else saw the story about the Florida man who was apparently keeping cassowaries, dinosaur murder birds, in captivity, and he got killed by them. He got killed by one. It's like he was 75 or something, and he fell in the pen, and the dinosaur murder bird killed him. That's why Australians don't keep cassowaries, because they'll fucking kill you, because they're murderous dinosaur birds. I mean, Jesus, that is such a Darwin Award thing. Like, oh, Florida man gets killed by a cassowary. Well, he shouldn't have had a fucking cassowary. Those things are dinosaurs, literally. Like, you look at their claws. Their claws look exactly like the velociraptors in the Jurassic Park movies. I think that's what they were fucking modeled on. And they're fucking murderous. Absolutely murderous. And yeah, this guy got killed by one. He had it in captivity. He was trying to breed them. Apparently, because they're an amazing looking bird. They have this fucking horn on their head. They have some very bright colors. Apparently, for certain exotic animal collectors, cassowaries are somewhat sought after. And so this guy was trying to breed them for collectors, but one killed him. So that's a bit of a warning to the people who want a cassowary. They will fuck your shit up. They will kill you as soon as look at you. So consider yourself warned, fairly warned be ye. Cassowaries will fuck your shit up and they will kill you. That's the thing that cassowaries do. But I am going to go to bed now, which only leaves me to thank you, wonderful people, for your time. It has, as always, been a pleasure spending time with you. But it's time to shuffle off this live stream. Hope to see you again soon. Like I said, I will try and edit this video for tomorrow of the Vegemite vodka taste test with some rather extreme reactions caught in slow motion. I fucking laughed a lot. Looking at this video in slow-mo, I laughed a lot. And I hope you will too. Here's my big chance to go viral with the Vegemite vodka reaction. So good night, one and all. Look after yourselves. I hope to see you again soon. But I will say goodbye for now.